So in the last video, we created a node for a singly linked list. And now we're going to take that node and start making a linked list out of it. So what I'm going to show you is last in, first out. And basically we're going to be making this list where we have our A, and then we're going to have each one of them point to that so that the last one is going to be pointing to the previous one and back until it gets to the first one. So that's the one we're going to be building in this one. So we do this by creating a new class. And so just like we did before, where we had our nodes and each one had its own class, we're going to do the same thing with the list. So we're going to be in our header file for my list. And again, the names should match. So we're going to make a class called my list. And in this, the only thing we're going to need to have in this is a pointer to the first item in our nodes. So we're going to need a my node, and it's going to have the head. And now head again is a common name that a lot of people use for the top of a linked list to say like this is the start of it, right? And so we're going to say this, and we're going to say, so that's what's private. And in our public part, we're going to need our construct, right? And so it's my list. And we're also going to want to create a function in here that is going to add our list. So we're going to say void add node. And we're going to pass in the letter or the data that we'd want. Again, remember that in a linked list, you could have as much data as you want. In this example I'm showing, I only have one data node, one data item of the letter, but if you had a lot of different ones, you'd be adding them all here in this node. So what we're going to do then, so that is just creating the two functions that we're going to need and the prototypes, right? So now we're going to go into the implementation file and put them in here. And again, remember we need to put where it's located, like the scope of where it's located. And then same with this one. So in my list, what we want to do is put the head equal to null pointer, right? Because at first we don't have one, so we're just trying to make sure that it's not pointing to anything yet. And then in my list, when we're adding a new thing, we're basically going to be dynamically creating a new my node. So each time we add to our list, we want to add a new item to a new node to the list. So it's going to say head is going to equal, and it's my node, and it's going to pass the character, and then it's going to also pass in head. Now, one of the things I didn't do is I didn't actually make this construct type. I only made a construct with nothing in it. So we're going to need to go make this. So we're going to come back over here to the header for the node, and we're going to create this construct. So, right, we have that. So what we need here is what types it is. So it's a char, and it's a pointer of my node. And so now that we have it here, then we need to actually go into the implementation file, go up to our things, and we need to have that make our file. So it's my node, semicolon, semicolon, and then my node. And then we're going to have char C and my node pointer, so asterisk, and we'll just call it N for next. And so this is going to be letter equals C, and next is going to equal N. And so this makes it so that when we go to build it in the list, right, what we just did in the list was we set the head equal to a new node. So we created a dynamically made a new spot in memory for another node, and that node is going to point back to the original head, right? Because that's saying that it is pointing back to me. So if we go and look at our picture again, because, you know, my brain usually needs a picture, that next, back. We were here, right? We created the node A, and with the address, it had a null address at first. And so then we created this B where we're going to put B in here, and we're going to point this one to where the A node is. So that's what it's doing here, right? That's where it's saying it's dynamically allocating, setting the head equal to the new node. And with the head, it's like, oh, here, I'm going to make a new one, and in this spot, I'm going to put the address of the current location. So if we go and test this out now and see how this works, we're going to come here into this, and instead of doing it this way, where we set the letter this way, what we're going to do is we're going to say, so instead of having any of this, so I'm just going to Control Shift and comment that out. What we're going to do is we're going to say my list, and we're going to say ML for my list. And so we'll say ml.add node, and we'll say A, and then ml.add node B. Right now we don't have any way to see if this actually worked, if we actually created those. So in the next video, I will make the ability to display the list.